Writing the research design section can feel challenging at first, but it is really about showing exactly how you will conduct your study. This section is like a detailed plan that tells the reader what you will do, who you will study, and how you will collect and analyze information. Clarify exactly what you want to study. Before you start writing your research design, you need to clearly decide what your study will focus on. Broad topics like waste reduction and production are too general because they do not tell you exactly what to measure, who to study, or what data to collect. When narrowing your topic, think about the main focus or problem you want to investigate. For example, instead of studying all production processes, you could focus on packaging variables, what you will measure or change in your study. The independent variable is what you manipulate or test. The dependent variable is what you measure. Sometimes you may have control variables, which are factors you keep the same to make sure your results are accurate. The population or sample, who or what you will study. This could be employees, a department, or a production unit. The context, where and under what conditions the study takes place, such as a small-scale manufacturing unit. The purpose, why this study is important and how it will answer your research question. For example, a narrow topic could be the impact of using recyclable packaging on production efficiency in small-scale manufacturing units. Here, the independent variable is the packaging material, the dependent variable is efficiency, and the context is a specific small-scale production environment. A simple example of a control variable could be, the number of workers on the production line is kept the same so it does not affect the results. Decide the best way to approach your study. After narrowing your topic and defining variables, you need to decide how you will study it. This is called your research approach, and it affects everything else in your design, including the methods, tools, and analysis. There are three main approaches. Quantitative approach focuses on numbers and measurable data. You collect data that can be counted or tested, like production time, waste percentages, or cost savings. This approach is useful when you want to measure relationships or test hypotheses. Qualitative approach focuses on experiences, opinions, or behaviors. You collect detailed descriptions, interviews, or observations to understand why people do something or how they feel about a process. Mixed methods approach combines both quantitative and qualitative data. This gives a fuller understanding of a problem by showing numbers and explaining reasons behind them. When choosing your approach, explain why it suits your research question and how it will help answer it. Choosing the structure of your study. After you decide whether your research is qualitative, quantitative, or mixed, the next step is to choose a research design. How to choose a quantitative design. Experimental design. Use this design if you want to test cause and effect. This means you change one thing, independent variable, and see how it affects another, dependent variable. Choose this design when you can control the environment and assign participants randomly to different groups. For example, if you want to test whether a new type of packaging reduces production errors, and you can randomly assign workers to use the new packaging or the old one, an experimental design works best. Quasi-experimental design. Choose this when you want to study cause and effect, but cannot randomly assign participants. It is useful in real-world settings where full control is not possible. For example, if two production units already use different types of packaging, you can compare them even without random assignment. Correlational design. Pick this design if your goal is to see if two things are related but you do not change anything. This is good when you cannot control variables, but you want to know if a relationship exists. For example, you might check if units using recyclable packaging tend to have higher efficiency, without changing the packaging yourself. Descriptive design. Use this design to summarize trends or characteristics. It is helpful when you just want to describe a situation or measure averages, percentages, or patterns. For example, you could describe how much waste is produced each week in a production unit using different packaging materials. How to choose a qualitative design. Case study. Choose this design when you want a detailed understanding of one or a few cases. It is useful for studying a specific unit or group in depth. For example, you could focus on one production unit that switched to recyclable packaging and explore all aspects of their process, challenges, and outcomes. Ethnography. Pick this design if you want to study the culture or behavior of a group over time. It is useful when you need to observe patterns, routines, and social interactions. For example, You might spend several weeks observing workers' practices with packaging materials to understand why certain methods work better. Grounded theory. Choose this design when your goal is to develop a new theory from data. You do not start with a hypothesis but look for patterns that help explain a phenomenon. For example, you could analyze interviews with multiple units to create a theory on how small-scale production units successfully adopt recyclable materials. Phenomenology. Pick this design if you want to understand personal experiences. This design is useful when you want to explore how people feel or perceive something. For example, you could study how employees experience the switch to recyclable packaging and how it affects their daily work. What to consider when choosing any design. When picking a research design, think about your research question. What do you want to find out? Cause and effect, relationships, or experiences. Data type. Do you need numbers or detailed descriptions? Control. Can you manipulate variables, or do you only observe them? Scope and feasibility. How many participants can you reach? How much time and resources do you have? Purpose. Are you testing a hypothesis, describing trends, or exploring experiences? Identify who or what you will study. Start by choosing your population. Ask, who is directly connected to my variables? If your variables are about a process, choose people or units involved in that process. If your variables are about experiences, choose people who have lived that experience. Then choose your sample. You cannot study everyone, so select a smaller group. To decide the sample, if your design is quantitative, experimental, correlational, descriptive, choose a larger sample so you can measure patterns clearly. If your design is qualitative, case study, phenomenology. Ethnography, choose a small, focus group for deep understanding. Next, decide sampling method based on your design. Please watch above video to learn about how to choose sampling technique. Then define who to include and exclude. Include only participants who are directly related to your variables. Exclude those who do not have relevant experience or data. Please watch above video to learn about how to decide inclusion and exclusion criteria. Also decide where you will find them, location or setting, how you will reach them, online, in person, email. Plan how you will collect data. Start by asking, what type of data do I need? If you need numbers, choose surveys, experiments, or existing records. If you need opinions or experiences, choose interviews or observations. If you need both, combine methods. Choose your method based on design. For experimental or quasi-experimental, choose experiments because you need to test cause and effect. For correlational, choose surveys or existing data because you only measure relationships. For descriptive, choose surveys or records to describe trends. For case study, choose multiple methods, interviews, observations, documents, to get full detail. For ethnography, choose observation because you study behavior over time. For phenomenology, choose interviews to understand experiences. For grounded theory, choose interviews and keep collecting data until patterns form. Next, decide how to collect the data step by step. Where data will be collected, when it will be collected, one time or multiple times, in what form, written, recorded, online. Choose your tools carefully. Choose tools like this if you are using surveys. Use a structured questionnaire with a Likert scale, 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. If you are using interviews, use an interview guide with open-ended questions. If you are using observation, use an observation checklist or tally sheet. If you are using current data, use Excel sheets, company records, or reports. Pick tools based on what you need to measure. For opinions, Likert scale questions. For actions or behavior, checklist or counting sheet. For numbers, records or data sheets. Also include reliability and validity. In simple terms, reliability means your tool gives the same results again and again. You can check it by doing a pilot test with a small group. Validity means your tool is measuring the right thing. You can ensure it by matching each question with your variable. Decide how you will analyze your data. In this part, explain how you will work with your data after collecting it. Choose your analysis based on your data type. For quantitative data, numbers, use Excel, SPSS, or R. Choose descriptive statistics, mean, frequency, percentage, correlation, Pearson R. If you want to see relationships, regression analysis if you want to predict effect. Choose based on your goal. Compare groups, use t-test. Find relationship, use correlation. Find effect, use regression. For qualitative data, words, use thematic analysis. Steps, read data, create codes, short labels, group codes into themes. Choose qualitative analysis when you want to understand ideas, opinions, or experiences. Review examples and guidelines. Before finalizing your research design, it is good to review examples from previous studies in your field or discuss drafts with your supervisor. Seeing how other researchers structured their methods can give you ideas and help you avoid mistakes. Following examples and guidelines ensures your research design meets academic standards.